I'm going to start with a quote from A. Milne and Winnie the Pooh. How lucky am I to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Here I am, 48 years after taking a part-time job to help pay for my college tuition, knowing absolutely nothing of what I was getting into, saying goodbye to a place, saying goodbye to people who have been interwoven into my life and feel like a part of the very air that I breathe. The people of Wingspan have had a profound effect on my life and of who I am. Over the years, I've shared so many stories about so many of them. John Webb, our leader and mentor from the 70s, the man who laid the foundation for all we became. So many people who taught me, influenced me, or took my breath away by their resilience, their strength, humor, and love. I share these stories so you know how amazing they are, so you know that whatever way you support the work we do, it matters. These people, so easily dismissed and forgotten by the world, they can change your life. So before I go, let me tell you about just a few more. It's so hard to choose because so many have made a difference in my life. Carol Pavlak. I met her in 1987. She was the one everyone was afraid of. She looked different. She was loud, so incredibly loud. And you couldn't really understand a lot of it unless she was swearing. And she had swearing down to an art form. She wouldn't hesitate to knock you flat if she was mad. Except for me. She never swore at me and she never hit me. She was not popular in her previous residence. We didn't choose Carol. The county assigned her to us when we started the waiver homes. But she came to Wingspan and we fell in love with Carol. She was all those things I just mentioned, but she was so much more. Incredibly loving, with a remarkable sense of humor, and could be a blast to hang out with. This is something I've always loved about Wingspan. We have this ability to find who's really there and bring it out, no matter how unappealing the package. That's Carol with my son Dan, age 5, now 42. This picture brings to mind a great memory. My 5 or 6-year-old Dan and I stopped by the St. Stephen's dance one evening. This was a dance where people living in large community-based institutions from all over the Twin Cities came to dance. It was quite a sight. Think of the disability scene in the 80s. The place was full of some very unusual looking and very unusual acting people. I looked around the crowd dancing on the gymnasium floor, and there's my boy dancing like nobody's watching with all these people, enjoying himself absolutely with people the world has turned away from. I thought, what a gift. Funny how he turned out to be such a loving and non-judgmental person. And then Michelle, our world-class fundraiser. She loved our Made in the Shade event, and she would ask everyone she met and knew to support the walk. She was as sincerely grateful to someone who gave her $1 as she was to someone who gave her 100. She proudly called Darylyn most mornings to report her totals. She remembered everything about you, your family, your pets, food you like, things you like to do, and she would graciously inquire about your well-being and happiness. She was another one who came to us under a cloud, kicked out of 3 group homes before she came to Wingspan, and one who stole your heart within minutes of meeting her. She was a Special Olympics star. She testified in front of the legislature, so nervously, but she spoke her truth about her life and her needs. She loved with her whole heart and soul. When my dog, Audrey, died, she sent me a note every day for a week. This was my favorite. You feel so sad. And I did. And she really cared about that, about me. Michelle worked her whole life to make it to the national basketball competition at the Special Olympics in Orlando in 2022. She made the team, and then she was diagnosed with terminal cancer. She became too ill to make it to Orlando. Shortly before she died, Michelle's neighbors put together a catered watch party to watch Michelle's team get announced and presented on national television. Her team all waving with their purple Team Michelle bracelets on. Like I said, there are so many, but finally Jack, a teddy bear of a guy, another one you fall in love with immediately, also came to us with predictions of aggression and strife. I went to the crisis home he was staying at after reading his paperwork, thinking, I don't think this could work out. I walked in, and he was sitting on the sofa. He smiled and said, "Are you here to give me a group home?" I spent some time with him, and I left thinking, how did this guy end up in this situation? What in the world could have happened? I never really got the answers to those questions, but Jack turned out to be known and loved by pretty much everyone in this organization. When he arrived at the house, he walked in with a single garbage bag. In it, a few clothes. That was all he owned. What happened to Jack has stayed a mystery for the most part, but I know he was never given a real chance. You can't help but adore this guy, and we do. Here he is in his famous chick magnet Halloween costume, a very accurate depiction of Jack's life at Wingspan. The people living at Wingspan have been an inspiration to me, and so have many of the staff. I have worked with some of the most amazing and dedicated people, some with years of wisdom and experience, and some just walk through the door with that passion for service. People understandably wonder, how could anyone stay with one company for 48 years? Honestly, 1 year simply led to the next, each person completing my life in ways I never imagined, teaching me, challenging me, loving me. I've been humbled by the life lessons I've learned from those we serve, and overwhelmed by the selflessness of the many staff, board members, and donors who have continuously gone above and beyond to help our mission of helping people to live their best life. I'm grateful for those who refuse to give up on discovering who our clients really are inside. The truth is, we are all a work in progress. Borrowing from the wisdom of the Velveteen Rabbit, you become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in your joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. It's been my honor and privilege to serve, and it is my prayer that others will continue to uphold the values that will ensure that enviable reputation for service above and beyond that has become Wingspan's hallmark. I will carry in my heart a lifetime of treasured memories and the unquestionable belief that there truly is no place like Wingspan.